Hi Scorpio, welcome to your June 2023 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. And if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's your ascendant. It's likely to be the most accurate for you. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these to the side and I'm going to give these a good shuffle. And the first transit that we are going to look at over the course of this month is on the 6th of June. Venus is coming into the sign of Leo, which is your 10th house. Your career is getting a very welcome boost. This is making you more magnetic, your persona, how you appear to the world. It really does feel as well like you could be attracting powerful people to you. And the reason being is obviously Venus is an attractant energy, and it also represents the 10th house is your connections to, powerful people, to larger institutions. It's also the 11th house as well, but you kind of get my point, right? This is helping you to shine in some way. It's helping make you more magnetic, because if you need any help with that, it's attracting power players to you, helping you shine in some way, shape or form. This is you needing to get comfortable with being more visible. Leo is an energy of shining and stardom and visibility and, really living from that authentic space of the heart. So this is being open to all of those things. Venus is bringing a refined touch to your public persona. It could also be that you're connecting with somebody who could really help you, maybe help change your destiny in some way. Venus rules your 12th house and your 7th houses, which means that it's partnerships and relationships of all kinds will be coming to you in that sector of your career, right? And how you show up in the world. People from the past, potentially, recognitions or reconnections could come in here. And as well, especially because Venus is going to go retrograde in the sign of Leo for 4 months. So she's going to be there for a long time in that 10th house for you. Now, if you are interested in getting the most out of this transit and navigating that retrograde period of Venus as best you possibly can using astrology, human design, and probably all of the other tricks that I have in my arsenal as well, then sign up for the Bounty of Regal Venus webinar. You can get that on the link in the description box below. It's on the 4th of June. You are going to get all of that and more. There'll be myself and my wonderful guest, Denise Matthew. We're going to be talking astrology, human design. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, including a PDF. It wouldn't be a webinar by me if there wasn't that, and if there wasn't some tarot as well. So trust me, you're going to love this. It's £66 and you will absolutely be able to get the replay as well. So if you're interested, get into that. For this, you have the 7 of Wands, okay, with the Daughter of Swords. So this is the Page of Swords and the Judgment card. And so the message behind this is, when it comes to this transit of Venus, certainly over the month of June, this is where you're going to need to address something. So this could be through paperwork, documentation. It also suggests that you might be having a meeting or a face-to-face conversation with someone where you have to negotiate something. That 7 of Wands does suggest that maybe it could potentially get a little bit heated, but with the Judgment card here, it's basically this is closing out a cycle of some sort that needs to happen when it comes to your career, when it comes to this whole transit. I also will say with the Page of Wands, this could be, like I said, it's negotiations, potentially ones that get a little bit frustrating at some point, but once the deal is sealed, you will be able to move on sort of almost perfectly. And I have to say as well, for a select few of you, it looks like you're going under the gun, and that is a slang term for getting a tattoo. Not while Venus goes retrograde though, please. The retrograde period won't start until July 22nd, so you have time, but yeah, not advised, all right? So the second transit that I want to look at this month, on the 11th of June, Mercury enters Gemini and is coming into its home sign. And this for you is in your 8th house. Mercury coming into its own space here is going to give you an ability to really grasp harder topics, potentially ones of an occult nature, which could be great. This is likely to speed up conversation around passive income, other people's money. Maybe you're looking to file your taxes. This could be a good time to do it. What really strikes me here as well, because you're naturally you have a natural affinity to the 8th house anyway, because it's it's your energy effectively. It might be a time of gathering information and knowledge on a certain topic, or speaking more about things that have like an element of crisis, disruption, or, maybe even the taboo or death to them. So if you're writing a book, maybe it's about sex, maybe it's about dying or death in some way, shape or form. That's one way this could show up. You might be sharing or communicating on things that are harder for people to kind of accept. And this could be a little challenging, to be fair, because how it's received might not necessarily be easy or light, but that said, you could have a lot of fun with it because Mercury is a fun energy. So this could be where you open up like a really challenging topic of some sort, and you're able to talk about it or deliver it in a way that people are just kind of like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not funny, but I can definitely see the lighter side of this. For this, you have the 8 of Cups with the 4 of Wands, okay, and the 5 of Swords. So yes, right, difficult subjects, difficult topics of discussion that lead you to some really fruitful paths. That 4 of Wands right in the middle there is a very happy card. It's a card of celebration. Now you've got this with the 8 of Cups. For a select few of you, if you have had legal problems, challenges, issues, or disputes, this does suggest that something of that nature could be coming to an end, right? So, and it's almost like, when a victory is bittersweet, it's like, I wish we didn't have to go down this route, but we did. And, ultimately I can walk away, but I still don't feel good about having to have, or to go down this specific path. So that could be really interesting as well. And as I said, when it comes to anything that you're sharing, you could get some pushback here, but the majority of what it is that you're sharing or communicating will be greatly received, and people are kind of seeing something in a different light thanks to your brutal honesty, which, I'm totally here for. On the 19th of June, Saturn is retrograding and it's in an exact sextile to Jupiter. This is happening across that 5th, 7th house energies for you. Saturn is retrograde in your 5th house, so it's kind of giving you a bit of a break here, helping you to remember fun, bringing back some joy. It's maybe not as heavy in that space because it is retrograde, right? So it's letting up a little bit to give you a breather to say, okay, this is what this transit of Saturn is going to be like from here on in, right? Now, what you have here is Saturn is constriction, confinement, boundaries, limitations. It's also crystallization. It hardens or solidifies your plan and gives you the solid steps to make it happen. Whereas Jupiter gives you the opportunity, the growth, the happiness, the abundance, the levity, the luck as well. And so you've got this energy of expansion and contraction happening in the same space. So what that translates to on a day-to-day level is slow, steady, sustained growth that actually brings results, rather than just lots of opportunities that are kind of, a bit like hot air. Now, you will have this expansion in a careful and cautious manner. Jupiter in your is in your 7th house. It's amplifying your partner in some way. So your partnerships, personal, professional, platonic, are definitely being highlighted and blessed by Jupiter. In that sextile to Saturn though, the structures of your relationships and their setups are starting to shift. It's like, okay, this has integrity, this is working well, but actually this needs to go. in a really great way. And it's like the connections that are coming in here, potentially some of them are from the past, which could be great. It could also suggest that you're moving ahead in ways that are, you know, especially if you're in a relationship, you're moving ahead in ways that are very much about the future, that are fun, that are creative, that have some kind of joy attached to them. Now, you've got the Death card, so some relationships are potentially being phased out with the Nine of Swords, okay, and the Two of Wands, right? So I think this is the message behind these cards is when it comes to partnerships, connections, collaborations, personal, platonic, professional, you're having to get really clear and really honest with yourself about what it is that you really want from these things and these connections. And you're probably gonna have to really realize that maybe one or two of the connections that you have are ready for, you know, they've reached their expiration date. Saturn, after all, you know, when you look at the glyph, it represents the scythe, right? And Saturn in old world was death. So some connections may very well come to an end here, but because it's in a sextile, that either provides opportunity for you, or you kind of look at them and say, yeah, well, you know what, that connection was on its way out anyway, it needed to end, all right? Now, for the fourth transit that I would like to look at this month, on the 22nd of June, Venus, the moon, and Mars, your, you know, ancient ruling planet at least, are going to be in a triple conjunction in your 10th house. All of this is happening in the sign of Leo as well. Venus rules your 12th and 7th, Mars your 1st and your 6th houses, the moon ruler of your 9th. It's your career is getting a huge boost here, and it's likely to come through education, potentially through teaching of some kind. It could also be a time where you start to understand like what you're here to do on that grander scale. You start building a strategy towards what your legacy is going to be. It's a synthesis of Venus, and it's connecting the synthesis energy of Venus, where she harmonizes and pulls things together. It's connecting your relationships and your needs to attach needs that are attached to details, and also to maintain what you have. So that could be really nice, all right? And because it's three of the personal planets, or two personal planets and a luminary, but three personal planets, you will feel this on the daily level in some regard. For this, I mean, for some of you, this could be a relationship that shows up. You've got the Eight of Wands, so there's a lot of communication around this with the King of Swords, because that's the Father of Swords, and the Temperance card, right? So this is you speaking to or connecting to a professional in some way, shape or form. Somebody who really knows what they're doing, somebody that is qualified, licensed. You are having a big conversation with somebody who is very much a power player, or in some way, shape or form able to help you. This is also potentially mending rifts with people that you've had problems, challenges or issues with. I gotta be honest though, because of these cards here, I do wonder if this is likely to be quite a hard conversation. So we'll see. All right, so those are your transits. Let's have a look at your lunations. All right, so on the 4th of June, the Sagittarius full moon for you is happening in your, okay, the cards have spoken. Your Sagittarius full moon is happening in your 2nd house of money, finances and resources, and you've got the gate 58 and joy. This is about the unbridled joy of life, just enjoying things because they are. Money, finances, resources, and the possessions that you have could be bringing you untold joy, or you could have really good news about them at this time. And the Gemini new moon on the 18th of June, you've got the gate 48 and depth. And this is happening in your 8th house, which is where Mercury is going to be at the same time. So some big communication that comes from very deep within you. 8th house is a very deep house. It's your deep psychological self. And it's also a very occult energy. So maybe you're getting a really powerful push from the universe or from spirit, or you have a really deep realization that, you know, could actually be very, very lucrative for you in what you're supposed to begin or step forward with. So all in all, this looks like a pretty great month for a lot of you. With that said, Please don't forget to sign up for the Bounty of Regal Venus webinar. You can get that on the link in the description. You're going to see it on my socials. Would be lovely to have you there. Have a fantastic June. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.